Which one better? Which one better, y'all? Anyways. What is going on, YouTube? BCD back with another quick video, and today I want to go over the Xbox Series X and the good, the bad, and the ugly about the console. I've had it for a few weeks now, and I've been gaming on it daily, playing a lot of Destiny, play a lot of Call of Duty, play a lot of Assassin's Creed, play a bunch of new generation games, even 2K, which I don't even want to talk about that. But I played a bunch of new games on it, and I kind of want to give you my experience and everything about it, and kind of give you a different perspective. Again, the good, bad, and the ugly. Before I start, I want to thank you guys for even tuning in. I appreciate you guys all, actually watching my content, liking and subscribing if you actually enjoy it. I don't want fake love, but definitely like and subscribe. Yeah. But I appreciate you guys. I really do. It's interesting to see this channel grow like that. But let's get started. So, I'm gonna start with the good, because I like to have the good news first, bad news later, ugly news last. So the good thing is that it works great. It's a new generation console. It has a lot of features that you will want out of a new generation, or at least from what I'm understanding is a lot of games actually are running at 120 FPS, which is amazing, by the way, if you can actually get it. There's a lot of things that are just working great. All the backwards compatible games are getting bumped up when they can to 60 frames per second. Everything is getting locked at a 30 frames per second. Got a buttery smooth 30 FPS on Destiny 2, waiting for that update on December 8th. So a lot of things where it just works, and it works well. You got your SSD inside the console, makes the loads and everything just faster. You can expand your storage with that proprietary bought crap, or you can just do the external SSD, which you definitely don't want a hard drive anymore. Don't buy any hard drives. I don't care how much storage you can put on it. If you're not just putting photos and videos on it, do not buy a hard drive. Buy an SSD. That way you can mimic what's going on inside the console. Because again, these SSDs are matching that a lot of the times. If they might be a second off, but it ain't that bad, especially for backwards compatible games and things like that. So this is what you want to do. Buy an SSD. Don't waste your money on a hard drive. But again, expandable storage just works. It doesn't have any issues. You can have two, devices in it at once. You can have your memory capture device in it as well for capturing, videos at longer things. You can do 4K. So you can do 4K HDR video capture. So a lot of things that I knew were going to be there are there, and they work because that's what it was meant to do, because it's another iteration into a console experience versus just starting over from fresh. So that is a good thing about that. It has a lot of the bugs worked out. It's compatible with all your old generation controllers, and again the games as well. You got 360 games, you got Xbox One games, you got Xbox original OG games on that thing. So it just works. The backwards compatibility is phenomenal. Like I said, it's just a powerhouse when it comes to that stuff. It just eats through it. Like I said, the old equipment, you don't have to buy new things. If you have one Xbox One old controller, you can keep that. Now you got two controllers because it comes with one with the Xbox Series X, and everything works perfectly fine. It's no problem. You're not getting a different type of experience. They all got the update for the low latency mode and the low latency on the controller, and I can definitely feel the difference between the DualSense and the Xbox when playing on the same television with the same, lag and latency. I can feel the difference playing Destiny 2 on that versus the PlayStation. So it actually works. I'm not going to hold you. It works. Well, I think, yeah, that's where that chapter comes to a close at this point. The good is that everything works great. I mean, I would say Game Pass, but you got to pay for that. That's an additional thing. But Game Pass is there. You have to think about that when you come to the ecosystem. Game Pass is something that you can't find anywhere else, even though you have to pay for it outside of the console itself. It's worth noting that Game Pass is there. You get 100+ games. That's how I'm playing Destiny 2 right now. I have all the season passes. I have all the seasons now, all the additional DLC content. You just got to buy the season pass if you want to play that. So everything works, and it just works fine there. So Game Pass already is giving me money. My money's worth off of just a few games. So that's what the important part about that is that they have the ecosystem, they have the hardware, and they can make something great. The problem is, and this is where I get into the bad, is that it's boring. It's a boring console because of the fact that everything is just so similar. There's nothing that leaps and bounds above that really makes it that stand out as a differentiator, like the PlayStation 5. PlayStation 5 has DualSense. PlayStation 5 has 3D audio. Yes, Xbox has some form of it, but let's just talk about it and go into more detail about that. So, the bad. Quick resume is broken. It does not work. It works and it's sporadically, and I don't trust it, so I'm always saving anyway, so I don't care to use it. It's nice when it pops up and happens, but most of the time, it does not work properly. That is a feature that they were boasting. That was a feature that they said was going to be awesome for everybody to use. I have plenty of games that are, compatible with Quick Resume, and yet sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. So I don't use it at all. I just don't. If I feel nervous about a game and I really want to just stop playing it at that point, I'm going to find a save. I'm going to find a save area, whatever I have to do to save it, because I don't trust that the game is going to hold that space for me. So not a good way to start that off, because at this point I don't trust the system enough to even do it. So when will I be able to buy back into that? When they finally fix the update, and I feel like it doesn't break on me every 5 seconds. So that is not a good way to start off type of thing that is, because you're giving so much control over to the system to believe that it's going to hold that spot for you, and when you come back it's going to be there, and then it don't happen. So that's a lot of trust to give something that hasn't worked properly in the beginning anyway. So that's one thing that I really don't like about the Xbox, is just that feature is completely broken or busted at this point. The 3D audio. So PlayStation and Xbox have some form of 3D audio. The PlayStation is very simple to understand, works with most headphones, and it can push out the audio. On the Xbox, either I'm not doing it correctly or there's something that hasn't been initialized yet. I don't hear no difference. And I'm assuming it's because of me and something I'm doing. Maybe you guys know a little bit more about this than I do, but there is not much of a difference, or if I am doing something wrong, please let me know. But I don't hear anything different, and it doesn't sound as good as the PlayStation, period. PlayStation's audio works with any headset, and it makes it sound it sounds so crisp, and like, I don't know how to explain it, but it just sounds like space. Like you can hear stuff farther and closer and up and down. I feel like like it's being consumed by that, and you can just, like, if you're playing Demon Souls, it'll trip you out because it's just like all of these noises that you hear. It's just weird, but it sounds really good. It sounds like you're there. So I enjoy that feature, and I want to play Call of Duty on my PlayStation, but I bought it on the Xbox, so now I'm stuck with the Xbox version when I really want to play with the audio on the PlayStation 5. But because I bought it on the Xbox, I'm now with the Xbox version, which doesn't have a feature that's on the same level, I would say, as the PlayStation. So that's unfortunate. That's another bad for me. There's no DualSense controller. The DualSense really is starting to show its true potential with a bunch of different games. Borderlands 3 has it where you have this adaptive triggers, but you also have the lights switch and change for what type of, archetype you're using. So if it's like corrosion, if it's shock, it'll turn blue or green, things like that. It just seems like little quirks, but it's interesting to see, especially with the adaptive triggers. It's all really cool. It's something that feels and seems different. It seems like a new experience. That's something that they're exceeding at as well. Xbox just has an Xbox controller. It's refined, and I enjoy the Xbox controller more, hands down, regardless of what the DualSense can do. But I find myself wanting that feedback and that experience of the triggers on my Xbox controller. I 100% prefer the Xbox controller in regards to gameplay. And when I'm being competitive, I'm going to go for the Xbox. That's why I bought my Call of Duty, Destiny, and everything on the Xbox, because that's where I game, and I want to be able to use that. I bought an adapter for my PlayStation 4. That's how much I wanted to play with the Xbox controller. So I am very biased in this, and it still gives me the sensation of missing something because of the DualSense having that stuff and not having it on the Xbox controller. Another thing that is just apparent, and this is the real ugly. I don't want to say this yet, but it's what's happening. It's out there, people. Everybody know now. Digital Foundry has been talking up a storm, and these Xbox fanboys have been really angry. But it's being outperformed by the PlayStation 5 right now. It was outperformed on the Assassin's Creed, which they consider it a bug, which is fine. It was outperformed on Dirt 5, which they consider it as a bug, which is fine. It was outperformed by Devil May Cry, which is to consider it a bug, which is fine. It was outperformed on so many games, even Call of Duty. So I was just like, what's going on? So I had to find out that there was, I guess there's supposedly, because they waited so long to get the AMD stuff, that's the rumor. We don't know, but this is what they said. This is what, Phil Spencer, I think, stated something like, we wanted to make sure we get the full architecture, so we pushed it back and we waited to send people the official hardware so they couldn't optimize properly. So now they're trying to work with the partners to get it optimized. But I'm just like, man, you can't be claiming world's powerful console and then there's like 6 games out there that's already been shown to run better on the PlayStation. So hopefully it's just an optimization issue. Hopefully that they can reclaim that world's most powerful console title, because right now they're just the world's most powerful Xbox console, to me anyway, until they prove me otherwise. That's how I'm going to feel about it. But yeah, that's what it is. It's just, it's ugly to see, because simply they've been toting it as the powerful console, and then it's just rearing its ugly head that maybe the PlayStation might be just as comparable to the Xbox, if not slightly more optimized or more streamlined to approach. But I doubt that. I think the Xbox is just newer, and then the Xbox kind of, again, shot its own self in the foot by not getting it out fast enough. But it's interesting to watch, and I will continue to watch. I am not a fanboy of any console. They both got my money. I feel ganked by both companies, so it's not as if there is some type of bias here. I enjoy things on both consoles that I enjoy, so regardless, I really want to know whether or not Cyberpunk has been optimized properly for the Series X, because if it ain't, I'm buying it on the PS5. Regardless, I don't care about achievements. I don't care about platform. All I care about is having the best experience when I'm playing a game. Now, maybe that, optimized patch down the line might be sweet, but I might just rebuy it. I don't know. But I want to know before I purchase, which is going to be, unfortunately, I can't do, because I want to play it day one. I need to know who's going to have the better experience. And I need Digital Foundry to have advanced copies so I can know, but I doubt they do. So, At this point, the Xbox is a safe console. It is the most robust console at this point. It has the most things that you would find beneficial right now. Even though they don't have any games at this point, they don't have anything that you could actually pick out and go buy and have a fun time with. They just have third parties and things like that in old games. Then at this point you should wait. You don't really need it. But if you were to upgrade and you were coming from an Xbox or you were just starting an Xbox Series X family, you can still buy a bunch of old things to kind of flesh out that experience for you as of now. And it's not that hard to do. PlayStation is a little bit more difficult. It does have backwards compatibility with PS4 games, but at the same token, most of the time there is some either weird issues with the store, issues with my system cutting off and losing its Wi-Fi connection. I just had a little bit more, weird nuances that occur. Not saying that everybody is having the same experience, but this is what I'm having. So if I was to put my money down and I wanted to have the thing that I felt like was going to last the most and you actually perform how I wanted to perform, it would probably be the Xbox still. The Xbox it's just a refinement and not a start over fresh. You know what a start over fresh is. You know when that PS4 launched, how you felt about it and how it was just like nothing on it. You know how that feels to not have any games. PlayStation has games right now. PlayStation has PS4 games right now, but it still has that new experience that the Xbox just don't. It just feels familiar and it just feels stronger. So that's what you want to think about, really. It's just, what do you want, really? What do you really want out of a new console? And what do you think would be the best option for you? I know for me, it's both, because I'm not going to miss out on something I want on the play on the other end, because I chose to go with this route. So I say for both. Maybe that's not the option for you. Maybe you have to pick one. And that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate because it's a tough one. Honestly, they're both really good. It's tough. I wouldn't call either one of them slouches. It's a tough call at this point for me. But maybe it's not for you. Maybe you know what you want, and that's great. I don't, so I got both. But yeah, that's pretty much it for me. I want to thank you guys for watching. If you enjoy the content, again, please don't forget to like and subscribe. And again, I want to thank you guys for always, as usual, watching. And I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Peace.